Podcast Network Asia.
You are listening to First Metro Securities Philippine Stock Market Weekly podcast, where we feature timely and relevant discussions on the Philippine stock market and the economy in the hope of providing you investing and trading guidance. Here's your host.
How's it going, investors? Hi, I'm Anjz, an equity research associate from FirstMetroSecurities, where I cover the consumer sector. In this episode of Market Bites, let me share with you our latest company update on Universal Robina Corp, or URC, titled Operational Efficiencies Driving Earnings. We are maintaining our buy recommendation on URC with a lower target price at 128 pesos, while 1H24 earnings at 6.6 billion pesos or negative 1% year-on-year came in line with our below consensus estimate. We have adjusted our forecasts to reflect management's somber guidance and account for URC's China exit. This resulted to a downward adjustment of 6% and 5% on our FY24F and FY25F estimates, respectively. Nevertheless, despite top-line challenges, we take comfort that URC can still generate solid earnings growth supported by margin expansion. The latter will be driven by easing input costs and sticky efficiency gains. Our new forecasts project EBIT to grow by 9.1% in FY24F and 8.2% in FY25F. On some key takeaways, first, management highlighted muted consumer sentiment in the Philippines and in Southeast Asia, with recovery of purchasing power still very much delayed. Second, URC is exiting the China market with a complete shutdown by 2025. Third, downgrading sales growth target to low to mid single digit from mid to high single digit amid consumers' shift to value and delayed milling season for sugar. And fourth, EBIT ex sugar grew 28% year-on-year, largely due to efficiency gains. For critical data points to watch, first, BCF Philippines sales fell 4.2% year-on-year in 2Q24 amid weak consumer confidence and downtrading. Second, cost of key raw materials such as wheat, palm oil, potato, cocoa, and coffee beans. And lastly, sugar margins have fallen to low teens in 2Q24 from low to mid-20s margins in the past 5 years. Our target price of 128 pesos implies 21.6 times FY24 FPE and 19.2 times FY25 FPE, below historical mean valuation of 26 times PE. This is derived from DCF and assumes WACC at 9.8% and 3% long-term growth. Key risks to our call are lackluster consumer confidence and lower disposable incomes across markets, failure to deliver on key efficiency and innovation programs, extended impairment of distribution reach, margin pressures from higher input cost and/or supply chain disruptions, excise tax on salty snacks and sugar-sweetened beverages, weakening regional currencies on USD strength, and elevated inventory levels could be a drag on earnings. Again, that's a buy call for URC at 128 pesos target price. And that's it for this episode of Market Bites. Hope this has been helpful.
Thanks for listening to First Metro Securities Philippine Stock Market Weekly podcast. Don't forget to follow us to get first dibs on our new episodes. For more up-to-date market news and info, exclusive content, and the opportunity to connect with your fellow Filipino investors and traders, join facebook.com/groups/FirstMetroSec and be part of the FirstMetroSec family.
FirstMetroSec is providing this podcast as a general market commentary. Reference to any specific security, product, or entity do not constitute as an offer or a solicitation of an offer to buy or sell any financial instruments or to participate in any particular trading strategy. The statements, comments, views, or opinions expressed by the hosts are subject to change without notice, and FirstMetroSec is under no obligation to update, amend, change, or correct any of the statements, comments, views, or opinions expressed. The statements, comments, views, and opinions expressed by the guests are their own and do not necessarily reflect the view of FirstMetroSec. FirstMetroSec disclaims any liability arising from reliance on or reference to any information obtained in this podcast.
The views and opinions expressed by the podcast creators, hosts, and guests do not necessarily reflect the official policy and position of Podcast Network Asia, the hosts of the program, or other programs of the network. Any content provided by the people on the podcast are of their own opinion and are not intended to malign any religion, ethnic group, club, organization, company, individual, or anyone or anything.